One of the dumbest arguments that I still come across on Instagram or sometimes even TikTok against the validity of Christianity and the Bible is an argument, if you could even call it that, which doesn't even really deserve a video like this, mainly because it would take less than 2 minutes of someone to actually go in and investigate this. But simply due to the fact that this still pops up today, like I mentioned before, on Instagram, TikTok, on social media. And personally for me, someone sent me this video and I was looking for a video just to counter it, rather than just sending them an essay of why it's so dumb. But I found that I couldn't really find a video like the one that I'm doing now. So I thought I would take that burden upon myself and make something like this. A video that you can send to someone if you hear them say the same argument or if they send you a video. Now, if I come across rude, which as far as I know isn't usually my demeanor, it's only because someone who uses this argument would have to be so intellectually lazy or dishonest to then try and use this argument to put down someone's faith. Well, that just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And the argument goes something a little like this. Are you telling me that you believe in a book which is apparently based in the Middle East, but has people named John, James, Luke, Peter, etc. in it? To which my answer is yes. And if you don't understand how, let me just explain. You see, the names aforementioned, such as John, Peter, Luke, James, well, these are ancient Hebrew and Greek names which have gone through the process of transliteration. And if you don't know what transliteration is the process of when you take a word or a name from a particular language and then try to represent it in another language with its own alphabet and different grammatical rules. That's why if when you're reading your Bible in the New Testament, you start to notice a lot of the Old Testament names, when they get referenced in the New Testament, end with the letter S, or which is a Greek sigma, which is pronounced the same way as the letter S in English. Because this is a convention of the Greek language with masculine nouns. That's why Jonah becomes Jonas and Elijah becomes Elias in the New Testament. Now let's actually take a look at how we get the names John and Luke, which are mentioned in the New Testament, from the original language, and we'll do it in reverse order so we can see how we end up with those names. The name John in English comes from the Old French Jean and other forms of that name, which itself comes from the Latin name Johannes. And I'm not too sure if I'm saying these perfectly or correctly, so don't judge me on that. The Latin Johannes comes from the ancient Greek Ioannis, which is the transliteration of the Hebrew name Yohanan. Another example would be the name Luke, which is a shortened version of the Latin name Lucas, which also comes from the Greek Lucas. In fact, many of the Western names which you're familiar with are actually of Hebrew origin and have gone through the same process. Some more examples would be Aaron, Adam, Samuel, Rachel, Sarah, James, Benjamin, Elizabeth, Michael, Ethan, Abigail, Nathan. The list goes on and on. In fact, I'd actually bet you that most of the people you know, if you're living in the West, their names are probably of Hebrew or Greek origin. And I think by now my point has been sufficiently made, and anyone can see how ridiculous it is to make such an argument. So next time someone you know shares a video to you with someone making this argument, or they themselves make this argument, just send this video to them. That way, from there, we can actually spend our time and energy on the more substantial arguments for and against the Christian faith. And with that, thank you for watching Truth to Christ. God bless.